Call the meeting to order. Motion on the minutes.
Move for approval of the minutes from June 7th recess, June 7th regular, and June 21st.
Second.
All of 2016.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Neil Stefik. Let's see. Okay, your renewal. And you know why you're here?
Something about traffic tickets over last year.
Yeah, driving after suspended, I believe.
Revocation, driving after revocation,
Driving while suspended.
again and again and again.
See, we look at things like this, and we look at things like this and say, you know, the driver license comes with all these rules and regulations. You're not abiding by them. How do we know you're abiding by ours rules and regulations?
Correct.
You know, and so that's why we call you in front of us. Having any problems there, but you had between the last license, what, 6, 7?
I counted 17.
7, well, does that include the ones before the last license? 17, okay. You're not gonna get your license for a long time. Well,
25th of July.
really?
Yeah.
Because every time you do this, you get fined on it, right?
Yep.
Costs you a fortune.
A couple $100.
Each time?
Yep.
Mr. Chair,
Okay. Hold on, Michael.
why did you lose your license in the first place? How'd that come about? The record here,
Well,
I see a bunch of driving afters, but not what
For
led
why?
you to that. Yeah.
Same exact reason you guys called me in for last year. Back in 2012, I want to say, I got a parking ticket in front of Las Palmas back when they were open at 4 a.m. I was there eating at 3:30 in the morning. I got a parking ticket when they're open until 4.
Mhm.
So I get done eating. I know I wasn't parking there overnight. I'm inside eating. So I took my parking ticket, took it right to the City of West Allis Police Department. I had the young lady sign off with her badge number and everything, saying it's going to be taken care of. It was never taken care of. So it goes from that to driving with a, what do you call it?
Your registration was
Yes,
suspended first.
yes.
The car registration was suspended.
And then now, because I have a thick head and I don't want to pay a parking ticket, I don't want to, it snowballs. So finally, 2 months ago, I finally paid that parking ticket because how often am I going to be paying these tickets over a $40 to $60 parking ticket that the City of West Allis promised me they're going to be taken care of years ago, and still haven't. So I just bit the bullet and I paid it, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think
kind of
that-
a bummer.
I don't think the clerk has the authority to
Well, I have it signed and everything by the officer at that night. I can bring it in for you at a later time and show it to you.
Well, have you shown a judge that?
late.
I've shown it to everybody. Doesn't mean it's going to get taken care of through the system.
Okay, so, does anybody else have anything on this?
Mr. Chair, how'd you get here tonight?
What's that?
How did you get here tonight?
I had a friend drive me.
Okay, do I have a motion on this?
I'm gonna move approval.
You said you're getting your license back?
July 25th, I believe the Wisconsin DOT says. DOT.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that. And also, Mr. Chair, yeah, I want to stress to you how important it is that you follow the rules. This is,
If I've gotten pulled over all these times, I've never gotten a DUI. I've never gotten a speeding ticket. I've never done these things. So,
Mr. Chair?
All in Michael.
So what are you getting pulled over for? The suspended registration on the vehicle, and then they see that you have you're not getting pulled
well,
over.
not
for
anymore. Not
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
That's why I finally got that taken care of, because
To have
my
those-
plates were from 2013. My plates and everything on the car, just they won't give me new stickers. Well, finally, about a month or so ago,
Well, it's just we're showing here driving after revocation. You have a May of this year conviction. That might have been an earlier, a month or two ago. Right? Does that say 5? Is that a 5 or a 3?
Yeah, May 25th.
May 25th.
Yeah.
So up until like a month or two ago.
I can
But you're
promise-
not getting pulled over, I mean, so the,
I'm getting pulled over because the plate on my car
it has,
said
is expired.
2013.
Okay,
It's
okay.
a giant target,
Yeah.
especially when you live where I live, and you're only a car that drives by once every hour.
And,
It's,
but there's, police departments now have, computer or cameras that just
absolutely.
does nothing except watch that, so.
That's
Okay,
why I
I-
get pulled every month.
Yeah, I got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
So tonight's committee action goes before the council on July
Fifth.
5th.
Well, the liquor license ends on the 30th of June,
Yes.
so
It just carries over.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I want to make sure.
Okay.
I want to make sure no one comes in a second and says, "Where's your license? It expired 2 days ago."
No.
Okay.
Shuts it off.
All good.
No, yep, you're all good.
All right. See you guys next year.
David Ainsworth? Hello? Open up a used car lot there? Or, oh, yeah, this is new. The reason you were called in was because of basically things in the past that you have. Well, I was wrong,
13 years ago.
it were a long time ago. Quite a long time ago. Yeah, just some driving stuff. But, we just want you to know that we do watch this, we do monitor all the stuff. We want you to keep a, good business, hopefully a successful business that you're gonna have there.
That's my
And keep it on the up and up. So,
Mr. Chair?
all in line.
You have a Green Bay cocaine related arrest. I don't know, was it a conviction also?
Yes.
Okay. What was the outcome of that? I mean,
I got sentenced to 2.5 in, 2.5 out, served my time, did my probation, haven't been in trouble since.
okay. Yeah, I was just curious because, yeah, that seems like the last time you had any real substantial issues. So,
Okay, did you have all your inspections and everything already?
Yep.
You all ready to go? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll move approval. Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Joseph Brown. Joseph Brown. Is this the second time?
first.
No. Okay, we'll just hold it in case he's late. Cynthia Tice. Cynthia Tice. Hernandez. Angela, yes.
No, very fine. No problem.
New. New application. You obviously are working there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you put down 2012. Looking for my report.
Mr. Chair?
Hold on, Wayne.
Angela, you have experience bartending somewhere before or?
Yes, sir.
Where?
Bullwinkle's in Brookfield and Mitchell Airport.
Okay. You're familiar with all the laws then about carding and not serving people
Yes,
that are
sir.
drunk?
Yes, sir.
There will probably be an occasion when the police will send somebody in underage to
Yes,
try to
sir.
sting you and you may get caught and get an expensive ticket.
Yes, sir.
One of our, your particular background here, the thing that concerns me is the kind of you have a while ago marijuana, but you have a.
No, can I correct that? That was not marijuana. It was.
No, I'm saying in 1995, you have a dismissed charge. I'm saying,
Yeah.
yes, you have in 2012, synthetic chemical cannabinoid convicted in Waukesha County. So there's like fake marijuana or
what happened?
Spice or whatever they
Yeah,
call it?
it was that synthetic that was going around, and what happened was, I had 4 children. I was going through a divorce, so I got my kids every weekend. My ex-husband had custody of them. On a Saturday, I caught my 17-year-old with this synthetic marijuana, put it in my purse, so this way when Dad picked him up on Sunday, I could say, look, this is what our son's into, this is what's going on. Well, I got into an argument at a business, and I wound up getting arrested for disorderly conduct for yelling. Didn't put my hands on anybody, and of course, it was in my purse. I explained to the officer where that was from, what was going on with it. I got charged with it anyways. At the time, I was homeless, so I never got the paper in the mail to go to court to fight the ticket.
So
So
that's why
because
it's a
I wasn't able to, I was charged with it. It was a city ordinance. I got a $500, I believe, $30 ticket for it.
See, that would have been that's my concern. The other thing generally for our bartenders is we want you to be an ally of the police, so that when there is a problem, that you feel comfortable calling and you're helpful in solving the problem, you know, because if something's gonna happen.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It happens almost everywhere eventually, and, you know, we want you to, and when the police come, we want you to be able to accurately say, this is the person, this is what happened, that, there they are right there, or they left and they went north out the door down the street or
Yeah.
something, you know.
Well, and I did, I taught the bartending academy in West Dallas on, what is that,
Yeah,
86?
85th National, yeah.
And when I was teaching a class, 2 gentlemen came in and robbed the laundromat right next door. Well, the idiot came in to sign up for classes and gave me his real telephone number. So I was able to help the police catch the man and pick him up out of a photo lineup.
Do you have anything else? Do I have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second,
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
so this license was approved by this committee. It'll be voted on by the entire council next week Tuesday, and then you could pick it up either the next day at the clerk's office, or if you don't pick it up on that Wednesday, it'll go mailed to you at your address.
Okay,
So you don't have the license right now, just so.
Right.
so.
okay, thank you very much.
Donna Jenkins. Okay. We have another new application. Laws, you know why you're here?
Because of my past DWIs.
Right. You know, if you get a third, you're probably gonna be in front of us to take your license away. You know, and so, just so you know, that's walleyes. So,
Yeah, and even if they're remote, we're talking 20 years ago still.
it always stands.
The magic number is 3, and if you have a third DUI, this committee has a big problem with that, and typically doesn't approve a license of a person
And that
with
would
3
be the least of
DUIs.
my problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, I move approval.
Second.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks. So what's the next process? You'll just send
Okay,
the
the
license?
council's gotta vote on it on the 5th, the entire council.
The
And
July
then-
the 5th?
Yes, and so then the next day you can either pick it up before 3,
Between 10:30 and 3
okay,
On the
or it'll
5th.
be mailed to you.
on the 6th.
On the
On the
6th.
6th. Okay. Okay, thanks.
Elizabeth Stanzik. How close was I?
Doesn't matter, I'm divorcing that guy anyway.
That's a great answer.
Too many letters in that name.
Okay. Okay, we have another new application.
Yes.
Once again, you know why we're here?
Yes, because I have an OWI.
Yeah.
Had.
And so, that's 3 years ago still. Gonna stick with you forever. You know, just tell you, you know, watch who you serve. I don't know if they allow you to drink where you're going to work.
Where will you be working?
where you?
The new bottoms up.
Okay.
Okay. But, you know, just watch it because
I
You got
card
any more?
absolutely everybody that comes in that looks under 30, which they seem to like, so.
Anybody have anything else?
I don't. Yeah, Mr. Chair, I move
Yes.
approval.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Jordan Frickler? No application, Buzzards Nest. And you know why you're here, because of your OWI?
Yeah.
And you heard everything we said to everybody else?
Yep.
Because it's that bar, we gotta ask you one more question. Are you a Bears fan?
No, just Larry.
Okay, just making sure.
Just Larry.
Do I have a
Everybody
motion?
gives him shit
Do I have
for
a
it,
motion?
too.
Move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Just watch it now.
Thank you.
Sean Herb,
Rob?
Rob,
He called, he no longer needs the license, so he said he wasn't going to appear.
oh, is that what the note is on there?
Yes.
So, you just wanna place on the file or deny? We gotta deny, I think. Well,
Is he asking for a refund? No,
No.
not that it matters.
would you say,
Do we have so many that we can only give out, or doesn't matter
No.
if it's on
No.
top? No, then either way, I think is fine.
I'll move the place on file.
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried. Renta?
Renata.
Renata. You know that one.
No, it's a German. German.
Oh, and then she's not here.
She's not here anyway.
Let's see. This is the second time non-appearance?
Move for denial based on 2 non-appearances.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Then we have Janit Rwanda. Janit Rwanda. I don't see her.
You got Jeet
What?
Rondawa. Yeah, Rondawa.
Is that you?
Rondawa, yeah.
Do you live in Franklin?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Alden Weigel.
on your application, you were asked if you were ever ticketed, arrested, or suspended, and you checked no, and you put nothing down on your application for a liquor license. Have you ever been arrested for anything?
Yeah, DUI.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the application that you signed. It says, have you ever been ticketed, arrested, convicted, or fined?
Fault then.
And you checked no.
That's my fault then.
Yeah, and then it says down below, read carefully before signing. Declare under penalty of law all the above information is true and correct, to the best of my knowledge. Incomplete or incorrect information may lead to the denial of this license. That was on the application. It's right above your signature on the application.
To show you what we're talking about. This is where you had left it blank. And then this is what Alderman Weigel is reading to you right now, that part right there.
That's my fault then.
Yeah, and you do have 3 OWIs.
Right.
Right. Well, I would move for denial just based on that alone. 3 OWIs, I mean, you're getting a license, I assume, is to work at a liquor store, but the license would also allow you to bartend anywhere in the city of West Allis. And with a record of 3 OWIs, and although one of them, I mean, goes back to 1995, but they're evenly spaced, and it actually looks like you're due for one right now. If you look at the way the years are working out, so, yeah, I'm gonna move for denial based on the record.
I'll second that.
Do you understand?
Yes,
Okay.
so I will not get that.
You will not get the license.
Okay.
Okay. Any
How
further?
about the fee that I paid for the,
The non-refundable fee? Because on the application it says $90 non-refundable fee plus, it says it's non-refundable,
Right.
right?
That part is right here.
Yeah, it's right at the very top.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Alrighty, thank you.
Well, we haven't voted yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We still have to vote.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, this Connor Hutchinson, I've talked to him. He's taking a class that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you know, and so he can't make it. He's got, you know, his record. He's really only got one thing on his record, underage drinking. All the rest have been dismissed. They're there, but they've been dismissed. The only thing he did wrong was he just wrote one underage drinking, but he thought the others are dismissed. That you know, he didn't get the ever been ticketed, arrested part of it. But so I told him, well, you know, don't pick up school to come in. It's okay.
Did
Yeah.
you explain to him the importance of following
Yeah.
the laws? Give him our little speech too.
Oh yeah, we give him a speech. I think, and probably was harsher than I was.
I'll move approval.
Second.
May 2nd.
This is Hutchinson, okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Okay, the 57 bar now. We got let's see, 14, 15, and 16, and 17. Now these, he's obviously not fighting, so we don't have to take him to the trial type thing.
Right. And I
So-
believe we already voted on the findings of fact. I think it just
Right.
has to go to common council now with those findings.
So we can vote all of these to approve or
The
place
communication.
on
Right.
yeah, probably.
The 17,
16 and 17 to place on file?
So moved.
Wait, is that right?
I believe so, yeah, because 16 and 17 are just the communications. I can
Right.
update you guys if you want. Otherwise, I believe 14, 15, and 16 have already been, this committee's
Right.
handled that with the finding of fact.
Well, yeah, 16 was a communication.
I'm sorry, 16, I'm sorry, 14 and
14,
15.
15, yeah. So you want to approve the summons of complaint, then?
Number 14.
14 and 15.
I believe on the last minutes, the findings of fact have already been approved.
Right. Yeah, the last council meeting we did that.
Yeah. For the common council or just the committee meeting here?
Council.
It was the council too, yeah.
Okay, then I don't know what these are on here still for.
Because I failed to put them on with the findings and recommendation.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I admit it.
so we'll,
We're all human.
okay, so we already,
They just need to be cleared up.
okay, so Alderman wrote and make the motion on the place on file, and Alderman Haas second it, since they're checked off already.
Okay.
Good. Is that okay? Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? I don't know why they checked off. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
But now they don't get all messed up, see? 16, 17, okay, now, the other ones is to approve, correct?
So it's just communications from the city attorneys regarding the failure to pay. He's still, or that company,
He still, what is right, he still owes for
there's
the
2014, and then
14.
through the 6th of this month, still owes $797.67. Which I believe just is the other reason why, and one of the other reasons we were revoking that, or you revoked the license, so
We still go after that, though, right?
we're still going after the money, yes.
Mm.
But I don't think, as far as this committee's actions on something like that, I think it was just updating the committee regarding that,
Oh,
especially in
okay.
regards to the
That's why you put the.
And we can
14
place that on
15.
file, correct?
So 14 and 15 is just placed on file also?
That's, I believe so, yes.
No, that can't be right. This
is
14 and
summons and
15 are the
complaint.
summons and complaint.
Yeah, approve and pay, approve and,
14 and 15, right, 16 and 17, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Approve
we
and
just
place
had
on
to mix
file.
up on the numbers.
But really, all he owes is $700. He could get this cleared up for.
The
No.
personal property taxes issue, I believe that's just the 2015 stuff.
I believe
Okay.
there's problems with the payment too, so.
All right.
So do I have a motion to approve and place on file for 14 and 15?
So moved.
second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
So that was just to be clear, 14 and 15, I thought we already did something on 14 and 15, was that?
We did.
No, we did.
16,
16,
17.
16, 17 first.
To
They're the
file.
communicate, they're the communication.
Place those on
Understood.
file.
Got it.
So we just placed those on file.
Thank you, sorry.
Okay,
Gotta keep up.
nobody else came in here, so we're gonna have to hold off on Joseph Brown
I said
and.
there's
All out again.
some sort of miscreant in the back row, I'm not sure what.
Yeah. Bart looks behind him. No, it's you, Bart.
Yeah, I would send them out again. I would put them in the packet.
Yeah.
They're very Okay, so then we have two ordinances. Okay, you guys wanna come and sit up here, you can.
On the smoking ban?
On the
Or the
smoking.
vaping?
Yeah. Well, there's two of them. One's licensing and the other one's the ban.
18,
That's the ban.
this is on the ban.
Just feel like a little kid, you know?
18 is what now?
The ban.
Ban where? In the public,
I know it's important now.
I know I've been over this so many times.
All the bars.
Okay, so, you know, we can kinda take them up together, I don't know how.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'd like someone to tell us exactly what these mean and.
Says the
what-
lawyer at the table.
Exactly, correct, because.
I didn't understand it either.
Yes, what is presented with it is lots of reasons that e-cigarettes are bad. What is unclear is exactly what these ordinances say and what effect it's going to have on our city. And we had some discussion even on the floor of the council at our last council meeting where it was clear that what the discussion that was being had on the floor of the council is completely different than the discussion that we had here in our committee. So who can tell us what these mean?
Okay, let's take number 18 first.
Mr. Chair.
I don't have the agenda, so which one is first?
So we have,
The one that's first is, usage of electronic smoking devices in
So
certain areas.
you more involved with that one, you know, than I know we both have our name on it, but, you have yours.
Electronic device sales, that's mine.
Yeah.
Electronic smoking devices in certain
But
areas.
the one that Mickey just talked, if I may.
I
Mr.
think
Chairman.
smoking
Sorry.
prohibited in
The
certain
one you're
areas.
referencing is
Then
the
send
one
I
that
both.
may,
Yeah,
will
with both, yeah.
prohibit
Right.
the smoking of e-cigarettes in the same places that it's already prohibited from smoking regular cigarettes.
Is-
Which means we're only following state law, eventually it's gonna, well, I'm suggesting it will eventually catch up to us. We might be leaders in the field.
So Nick?
Yeah.
Is that correct, number 18?
In terms of smoking bans or where it's going, I can't.
What it says.
Yeah, what basically the new ordinance
Mike knows it too.
said compared to the old one? Of course, this is just a.
This should be a brand new one, this is just.
This is a new
Like
one
a
by
brand new-
Vince and I. That's the one we're speaking of, right?
Correct.
Okay,
The other one just has your name on it.
right.
Well, we had one that had within 1,500 feet of a school or park or a playground.
That's
and all
number
that.
19.
That was the last one.
We're
That's
dealing
a
with
different
18.
one.
Mr. Chair.
Was that
Alderman May.
revised?
This was revised by Jenna. I think the additions were put in yellow. I'm not sure if everyone has highlighted copies.
I wouldn't have.
No, okay.
No, I don't
What I can
have
tell is that the additions on the top, ordinance to create subsections 7.0321 sub F through J, as well as 3B through C, 4F, 5B, and 11 is highlighted. There's also major changes coming in subsection 4, prohibitions against smoking. No person may smoke in any of the following. And then list F, which is new, 100 feet of a playground.
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
Just a second, he's.
oh, I thought it was not.
The playground equipment, other things along those lines, and then under 5B, the prohibition against smoking shall not apply to any of the following, and the B is specifically to those places where I believe they're sold. So for the purpose of sampling electronic cigarette liquids in an electronic smoking device only, premises that are validly licensed under section 9.36 of the code prohibits minors from entering those sections, but so they're not saying you can't smoke in those places, just other places where you already can't smoke. Mr. Chair.
Hold on, May.
Okay, so I read this and I completely understand what it's saying. what it's doing, and I can go through point by point. The first section is defining, giving the reasons why we would be banning this type of smoking in certain areas. 3B, what it does is define what electronic smoking device is, basically an e-cigarette. C, redefines smoking to include the e-cigarettes and such.
Right.
Regarding the prohibitions, you'll see the letter F there. A through E are basically all places where we currently prohibit smoking, including all places as defined within the state statutes, which I brought a copy with in case anyone wants to see. Thought I'd do my homework with it.
There you go.
So basically what this is saying is e-smoking is smoking. It's banned all places where smoking is prohibited. In addition, we're going to prohibit smoking within 100 feet of any playground, equipment, or recreational area owned by, etc., as outlined in F here. The exceptions are all those places set forth in 101.123 of the statutes. Again, I got copies of that here. That would include a private residence. So I know we had talked about what if you live within 100 feet of, you're exempt.
It's in that state.
It's in the statute. It says that
state
you're
level.
exempt for residential, your own residential property.
Was that an amendment that was added?
No, that was
No,
just
it's
a
in the state
question.
law.
That's what I
was
was
a
going
state-
to say.
We were gonna make the amendment,
Okay.
but it's already in the state law.
And then the part B, I think that's new. That's talking about that that basically any of those places that are validly licensed, they can do the testing there. So, other than that, number 11 is an addition defining that no person shall use electronic smoking device on school grounds, and it's the standard language after that. So basically, it's saying we're gonna treat e-smoking like it's smoking. We've got better clarification on what smoking and what an e-cigarette is, and that is what it states. So
There you go.
If anyone would
Item
like a
approval.
copy of this to see where they're approved and exempt, I did bring copies. So
That's the state statute.
that's the
Yeah,
state
thank you.
statute.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I move approval.
And I'll second.
Okay, so the motion is that you cannot smoke this in bars.
Right.
Correct.
Or restaurants.
Any place where
Any
you
place
can't
where you
smoke a
can't
cigarette
smoke a
or
cigarette.
a
Smoke a
nicotine
regular cigarette
or a
right now.
tobacco cigarette.
And I think we all got the email from Alderman Barzak.
Right.
Right.
Because the reality is, we are gonna put some West Dallas businesses at a competitive disadvantage to our neighbors.
Wauwatosa is currently
just-
planning this
No.
same ban.
No.
Just so you know, it's not
Mr.
gonna be a
Chair?
competitive disadvantage to them.
Okay.
And I
Overall.
just don't think e-smoking is the same as smoking, that's my opinion. We all sat in that health committee meeting about 7 months ago, and that woman told us, she said, we don't know what's in there, but we gotta ban them. I'm going, really?
We know it's in them.
No,
Oh, I'm
well,
sorry.
I mean, but I'm just going by what I heard, by that expert that was here. and
Mr.
that's
Chair,
just-
can I speak?
Just a second.
Okay.
Here's why I do support it. I think the purpose of the original smoking ban was not because it smelled bad. It was because of the chemicals contained therein. It was because of the particulate matter, which is also in the e-cigarettes. Has to do with the carcinogens that are being found in the e-cigarettes that are also found in cigarettes. So it's really more a matter of public health. Regarding competitive advantage or disadvantage, when the smoking ban went into effect, they actually found that business stayed about the same or went up.
Oh, it's been good for business, because it
um,
was a statewide ban.
Because it was a statewide ban. So, but any person who would not go to West Dallas because they have a ban on e-cigarettes. I mean, there might be people from New Berlin and such who say, "I'm going to go to West Dallas because they don't have the e-cigarettes." You know, I don't know if we really know it'll be a competitive advantage or disadvantage. People like my wife and I, we don't care for that in the places we go for those reasons, the carcinogens and the other things. We'd probably be more likely to go to a place that doesn't allow that type of activity.
I'm gonna say the same thing I did about the smoking ban, because we had to pass the ordinance. You know, first of all, if you don't wanna go to a place that it's allowed, you don't have to go there. No one forces you to go into those places. The same as the smoking ban. We're taking a right away from businesses again. We're losing more and more freedoms every single day, and right now we're gonna take more freedom away from businesses in West Dallas. And a lot of these things are unproven, still, and, I can't, the same way I didn't support the other one, I can't support it.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Weigl.
I found there are a lot of places, restaurants I go to, I would like to sit on the patio and have dinner, but because that's where all the smokers are, and if that's, but this would still allow vaping on a patio, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
allowed
I guess
in
you
place.
smoke all
Yeah,
that.
so the vapors will still be able to go vape. You know, actually, I believe that vaping is possibly worse for secondhand vaping is probably possibly worse than secondhand smoke, because Lord knows what's in there, you know. And if we ban, one of the things that's going to happen is we force all the vapors outside with the smokers. Every patio at every restaurant in the city is going to have vapor. Well, not every, obviously, but you know, that's where the vapors are going to be. And I guess I have the right to stand up and walk away, you know. And you know, I'm with Alderman Chapletsky on this. There should be a statewide ban on it. You know, I mean, if it should be banned, I think it should be banned on a statewide basis.
Mr. Chair, may I speak now?
Go ahead.
I think it should be banned as cigarettes are banned. I'm sorry,
I know, that's why you got this ordinance.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, so,
Well, that's coming, but I do think they should be licensed as well, and that's in my ordinance. As far as proving, there's been proof that there are harmful chemicals in these oils, harmful chemicals in the juice. It's been proven that they are very harmful to the body. So I don't know where you're coming from as far as telling us that it hasn't been proven. Otherwise, the FDA wouldn't have put in place the laws that they are putting in presently.
what, the reason
And
why.
I disagree, I'm still
Go ahead.
talking. I disagree with
No,
you
stop,
as far
stop.
as it hurting our businesses. I don't believe that. The cigarette ban certainly didn't hurt our businesses. There's still cigarette smokers out there, and they're abiding by the rules. So I don't see where we would be at all influencing our businesses, because they already are sitting outside with their cigarettes,
You don't know.
as far as I know.
As far as the reason for banning cigarettes was secondhand smoke. That was the main reason for it. And there's no proof saying that this harms anybody else. There's chemicals that are taken into their own body. There's no proof that it floats in the air and people taking it. I don't even believe there's enough proof for secondhand smoke. It's all malarkey. But once again, that was a statewide ban. And it did affect our entire city when the smoking ban went in. Because now all those people are outside.
So what's wrong with that?
And so, what's wrong with that?
Yes.
Well, all the complaints you get because of all the noise, because these people are standing outside making noise now at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then how many of these outdoor smoking areas that we had allowed, but wait, some of them couldn't have them, some of them could have them, and all the problems that we went through with that.
Do you see a lot of smokers that are on these decks? I've driven by these
No,
taverns and there's hardly anybody outside.
I see them outside standing on the sidewalks.
Oh,
You know,
no,
when people-
I can't agree with
You
that.
gotta come in from the 5th District. You gotta come in my
Come to
area.
the city.
There's not too many bars in your neighborhood there.
And after 10 p.m. also.
Yeah.
We're in bed by then.
Mr. Chair.
River Parkway
Well,
doesn't have a lot of
anyway,
bars.
Well,
This is a good ordinance.
yeah,
Okay,
and-
Alderman
and
Vitale,
the
go
fact
ahead.
is that the secondhand smoking does affect personal life, affects people that I know, relations. The husband was smoking, she got a problem now breathing, I call it breathing, because in wintertime you smoke inside the house, and she been pay consequences because of the husband used to smoke 3 packs a day. So the question is, the smoke banning, which was already approved, has been working very well throughout our community and throughout the state, really. I mean, people, if you want to smoke, we create actually to encourage many of the business to have outdoor dining, which I think has been working well. So, to me, I mean, at this point, this will not really affect any local business. will be just like we done. People are just happy. I mean, 100% people that I talk to, they're really happy when they go to a restaurant and nobody smokes. At least you breathe fresh air. See, and that's what all this, just like with the recreation department, you know, the school district, they have problems with Liberty Heights is one biggest problem. Moms, some the dad, they smoke around the kidding pooling areas by the equipments where the kids play. They smoke right
Is
there.
that regular smoke? Is that the e-cigarette?
Well, but it works for both sides. I mean, it could be e-cigarettes just as well. So why we cannot apply some rules? The rules they come to life because people want it. Because citizens sometimes, a good percentage, they ask for. Because it's very annoying when the we talk about Liberty Heights, which has been very critical. When the mom or the dad is smoking, they throw cigarettes butts right on pavements and concrete. It's a very annoying for the lady who she's in charge there. So the school district, they're very for the city to pass such rules. Like I say, the e-cigarettes, that's another thing, you know. But still, that's part of it. Still, that's part of it, you know.
Just a second, Kathy. Just say, if you don't want to be in this, you can go if you want.
go.
I don't know. I mean, but if you got, I don't know, a police perspective on this or policing how are you going to enforce it or something? You know, go ahead. But otherwise, this is has nothing to do with usually here for. So okay, Kathy.
The original smoking ban did everything to do with secondhand smoke. That I believe everybody can agree to. This is one of those situations where we are on, I believe, looking at licensing these places. There's a number of things that we're all coming together and we're trying to set a standard for what we're going to be. I disagree that this was hurtful to the city of West Dallas. It taught us how to do things a little differently, but it wasn't hurtful. It has not hurt business specifically. It didn't hurt the bar business. If anything, it brought people out that never bothered to come out before. You're looking at one of them. No, the fact that they weren't in the bars anymore. I will go out. I have asthma. I was unfortunately unable to go to those kind of places because I paid a price for it. I lost out on some enjoyment because of it. I was real happy when the band came out. I could come back out again. I could go to the same places everybody else could, and I could have the same level of fun. And I didn't stop anybody from smoking. They just got to do it outside where it could dissipate into the atmosphere. And I was not held accountable to their choices. I currently am employed, besides by the city of West Dallas, in a bar 2 nights a week. And I have very politely asked our vapor smokers to go outside, and they have had no problem doing that. Just like our smokers already go outside. Because I don't want to breathe it. And I don't want to wait until I have some cancer to find out that this was a really bad idea when I'm trapped in an environment that I can't get out of because of where I choose to work. Because in this economy, we got to take a job where we can, and that's where I've got mine. And so I have a personal stake in this because I don't want to breathe that. And like I said, the customers that I've had come in have had zero problem going outside. They are as respectful as the smokers have become. And that's maybe the positive change I see, is that smokers are a heck of a lot more considerate, I think, of their choice to do what they choose to do to their body. They're not poisoning me in the process. That's my choice, not to be poisoned. Now, I can continue to ask my people to go outside, and I'm hoping that they'll continue to be nice because I have no intention on stopping. However, I worry about those people that are trapped in an environment that they can't get out of that. And what are we potentially putting them at risk to when we have an opportunity to change it? We're gonna get, I fully believe that this becomes a state law in a handful of years. This will follow, and I'd like to be in front of it. We have a $68 million development coming into this part of town. Let's get in front of it. Let's do something proactive for the city of West Dallas as we look to improve our image, as we look to improve everything that we're doing. We're spending so much money. Let's put the cart behind the horse and let's lead instead of following after. I want to be the leader for once. Let's do that. We have a chance. Thank you for hearing me out. I'll
Mr.
shut
Chair.
it now.
And piggybacking on what Alderman Probst said, Alderperson
Oh,
Probst.
no, shut.
piggybacking on what Kathy said. Yeah, certainly the issue is secondhand smoke, and we all know from our experience and seeing folks use these e-cigarette devices that they put out a whole lot more smoke than a regular cigarette. And I've been in the situation in a restaurant or in a bar where somebody's using an e-cigarette device, and I'm wondering, why in the world is this going on? Why isn't someone doing something? Why is the owner not stopping them? Well, because they probably don't want to offend the customer. Certainly, this gives an owner an opportunity to go and say, hey, it's not my fault, it's the city's fault. And thus not offend all of the other customers in the entire room, in the entire establishment. I think that helps our bar owners and our restaurant owners in that sense. And so I certainly urge the committee's approval of this proposal.
I still go back to the rights. You're taking more rights away from people. Every single day, everybody votes. Basically, what you guys are saying is your rights are more important than the rights of the person in the bar. The rights of the person smoking the cigarette, or the e-cigarette, whatever. I mean,
We do that.
personally, I think it's a dumb thing to do. It even looks stupid, but it's the whole idea of the rights where the bar owner is not going to have the right to say, I want them to smoke there. And yes, we do that all the time, and we shouldn't be.
I would say we do it
For
for
all
our
different reasons.
environment.
We don't even want to get on global warming. and
I'm not even,
environment.
did I say that? I was thinking
Because
about
it isn't
automobile
global
emissions,
warming.
personally. That's where I was headed.
Once again, why are we doing the emissions? But once again, you're taking away more and
Because I don't
more
want
rights.
horns and tails growing.
But we're very concerned about our health of our community, and I think that takes prime. I'm
Always-
sorry.
That was the same reason for all the healthcare rules and regulations. That's all messed up now because we've got to take care of everybody.
Let's
So.
get out that spectrum.
But it's just that you can always find an excuse to take rights away from people. You know, it's so easy to find excuses. You know that your rights are more important than other
We're not
people's
taking
rights.
away their
It's
right to
taken away. I
smoke.
guess
It's
I'm
just that
lost.
we're taking.
The rights of the person that wants to smoke the e-cigarette,
Go
the rights of
smoke.
the bar, the
didn't
rights of the
totally
bar
get it.
owner that wants to have people in his bar smoking the e-cigarette. That figures that it's going to be profitable for him to have it there.
We have
I don't
bars
know
that I
who.
bet you would like to put up poles and dancing girls, but we regulate that too. Think about this. We're not taking any rights away from anybody, Mickey. I would.
As soon as we pass this, we're taking rights away. Because
I-
right
I disagree.
now, someone can come and have an e-cigarette, except when you're there, in your bar, right? And if we pass this, starting on the 5th, the person won't be able to. You're taking that rights away from the person.
Well, I guess you should ask them. I
So-
don't think they.
No, and that's why.
So,
we shouldn't do it.
go ahead,
Alderman May?
Marty. May, go ahead. I'll let you.
He's the chair.
That's why they have you talk. That's what it is.
I do think, though, the city does have a responsibility to protect and promote the health, safety, and welfare of the community. And I think this is the right thing for all the reasons I stated before, and for that reason as well. And I've got a quick question.
Sure.
Why is Bart here?
Yeah,
Does this have to do with the next part?
He's got nothing better to do.
There's
Next
a public
ordinance?
hearing on July 5th regarding a zoning
Okay, so that's the next
implication
one.
of,
Okay.
but it's actually not the next one. It's if in case you had any questions about what's coming in July 5th.
We're not paying you overtime, right? So.
I asked Bart to be here because in the event that you guys posed questions that we had no idea that we were all operating, we were independent of each other without realizing it, but we were all working on the exact same things. I'm working on the what I call drug paraphernalia in the head shops and how many of those we have. I'm working on that. So I had Bart on that. These two had him on the vapes, and that was my next thing. So it was like we're all together. And so they're all very related to one another. And so that's why the three of us are here, and Bart is here to answer questions.
If there's anything with the
He's done a
zoning
lot of-
ordinance that's been being proposed for
Yeah.
July 5th, I was here preemptively
Yeah.
if there was questions, because these two
Because
were
of-
also on there.
That's
But
number 19, though. We're doing 18
Yeah.
separate.
So
I
that
did-
was a
no,
just
we have
in
one more
case.
question.
Still like Alderman May.
Alderperson Reinke, what was the vote of the Board of Health? How did they vote on this? I imagine they saw this resolution.
I don't think we voted on
we
it. It was
didn't
just a
vote.
discussion item.
yes,
Mhm.
right. There was no vote taken.
Okay.
But they all were in
Mr.
agreement,
Chairman.
except Alderman Rote, I would say.
Mhm.
Yes.
All Vitaly.
You know, we did throughout the state, of course, all the smokers were banned to smoke outside. So the e-cigarettes, of course, they always got some brainer out there to come up with idea to make
Brainer?
money, you know, which they come up with the e-cigarettes,
American way.
which to me already has been causing some health hazard with people smoking that think it's exploding right in their faces, you know, and that's one of the biggest problems just as well. And besides, like I said, the unknown, we don't really know what's really in those e-cigarettes. We don't. Nobody knows. It's not even been approved yet.
I thought they knew some of the things that were in them.
They knew the chemicals.
Yeah,
Some of the
all
things
that
in some
chemical,
of them.
whatever chemical they
Right.
put in, I have no idea, you know, I'm dumb about it. So the question is, we ban already people to go out and smoke. So what really, the issue on this one? It's the same thing. We don't want people to affect other people's life. To me, it's for safety and health. To me, that's direction, this council, we should really get this, move forward and, like I said, be the first one in the state. To me, I don't see anything to
Does
really
anybody else have anything?
to have any barriers for us to
Oh, I
be
thought you
concerned
were-
about it.
Sorry, I
really.
thought you were done.
And rules many times it happens because people want rules. That's why rules are being created for the welfare of the citizen. That's why the government create rules, which sometimes, like, you know, we go maybe too far, but that's part of in a democratic process. That's
How do you
what
know
it
we're
is.
not going too far right now?
Well, I'm not going too far. I'm talking just what it is, a democratic process, which is some people in Washington, they're not see that, you know, they're more what I call close-minded. That's what I call close-minded.
Is that it?
What?
Is that it, Vince? Does anybody else have anything? There's a motion by Alderman Haas, Alderman May seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, so we have 2 ayes and 3 noes. But we didn't have to do that as amended because that's state law. As we talked about before, so now we need a motion for denial.
Move to deny.
Second.
Any further discussion on this?
Yes,
Yes.
if I may. Does this mean that it won't go to the full council if you
No, it-
deny it?
Oh, so you gotta go to the
So,
council.
It's
okay,
gonna come to the
all right.
council to-
That's what I thought,
with the
with the
recommendation
recommendation
to
to
deny.
deny, all right.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No, you're a no.
Oh, sorry, no.
Yeah.
I know, I'm looking at you going.
Anybody
I'm
opposed?
thinking,
So
no,
confused.
thank you.
Okay,
My mind is thinking the
Motion.
next
I know.
one already.
I know, I was looking at the counts. All right, that's gonna go to the mayor.
so now we have 19.
Gotta slow myself down.
He loves it when
Okay, this one says amended. What was amended on this one?
What was it? I don't know.
It was about the proximity from the neighbors. Is that what?
This has to do with the.
Location was the big one under 13. There was a, if I may, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Which one is
Okay.
this? Mine? Yeah, that's mine.
So under 9.36, it listed a few more under 1 through 3 rationale or findings. There was also the additions of, by ACA Merton, the definition of smoking that we kind of discussed in the item 18. That's under D, which would actually be
2D.
2D, thank you. And then I think the main thing here, and what we had already just kind of talked about, was location issues under 13, which were highlighted. 13A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 13B. I believe those are the primary amendments or changes, and I'll report back whatever's needed.
Do we have a copy of that?
Yeah, so
It
Nick
was on mine.
or
I
Alderman
didn't bring
May,
mine.
what does this one do?
Yeah, please. Enlighten us.
Nick or Alderman May?
Yeah.
I'll defer to Nick. I
I
do
was-
know, but I'll let you.
ACA Merton drafted these, all of these, working with Alderperson Reinke. My understanding is that this creates essentially a licensing process for the e-cigarettes or the
That's right.
sellers of the e-cigarettes. So, although it's related to 18, it's different because there are, practically speaking, businesses that sell these items, and so we want to license them similar to any other licensed organization. That's my understanding.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Rowe.
But the people already selling are like grandfathered,
They're
correct? That they're,
They'd still have to acquire, they still have to get a
Still have to
license.
But
get a
they'd be
license.
allowed, I'm gonna take an example of a gas station next to a park. Who's currently selling this product, would he be able to get a license to continue selling the product? Even if he's too close to the park?
Yeah, even though
Not if this ordinance passes on Tuesday night.
Well, when we talked about this at the committee last time, we said existing retailers would be grandfathered and be able to be granted a license.
Even
That-
if it violates the 100 foot of a
Yeah.
park?
Yeah, we grandfather things all the time.
Well, it's 1,500 feet, should be located with 1,500 feet
What changes
of the
did you make?
boundary of a parcel occupied by public, private kindergarten,
Did we have a
elementary
map?
school.
Was there a map attached to this?
Licensed childcare facility, public park, public playground, public library. No license shall be located within 500 feet of a site occupied by another license in this section.
I don't think we have that many in West Dallas, really.
In other words, we didn't want
Be
a
affected
proliferation
by-
Well,
of businesses next to each other.
Right.
It's kinda like the cash
Yeah.
Well,
stores.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman White.
we've been able to limit the density of check cashing
Right,
places because
and that's what
there
we
seem to
wanted
be
to do.
seen, but the
That's
reason
where
is because
ours- this
there
won't
seem to
help this
be
conversation.
a crime relevance with check cashing places. I don't know that there's any proof that places that sell e-cigarettes, I mean, do we ban cigarette retailers? Do we let regular cigarette retailers, do they have the same restriction? If one cigarette retailer can't be within 500 feet of another cigarette retailer?
Right.
I don't believe so, do we?
no, we don't have that.
No, we don't have that prohibition now, I don't
What
believe.
the- This is what indicates that there should be.
Well,
It
no,
should be.
this is what
500
someone
feet.
thinks it should be.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Well,
this is only for
basically,
electronic cigarettes.
a lot of the ordinance was posed after the Madison, and there was no challenge to the Madison one.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Alderman May.
To Alderman Weigel's point, I think usually there has to be shown some sort of deterioration to property value or crime, is my understanding, in order to limit the locations of these. Not in principle, I have
Density
nothing
fees,
wrong,
yeah.
but I think we need to make sure we actually can support why the density proposal is there. There has to be some study or something that shows there's actually a negative effect on property values, an increase in crime, all those nuisance-related issues. I think that's what you're asking for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I would
Why,
agree.
why is it 500 feet? Why
we have
isn't
no
it
proof in
700
here.
feet? Why isn't it 100 feet?
Mr. Chair, if I could, because I proposed the ordinance for the check cashing. In our district, the 5th district, there were check cashing stores, there was 3 in one block.
Yeah.
3 in one block. And then there was another one that was going to come in and talk about business. That isn't good for business as well as the community itself. How does that look with having so many of these kind of stores in one block? And that was the reason behind the check cashing stores.
Well,
Besides, there were robberies that were taking place. You are absolutely
yeah,
right.
it was the potential drain on police resources that allowed us to put that
Right.
distance limit in.
Right.
I don't see a parallel here with selling e-cigarettes.
Okay, well, point taken.
Okay, Alderman May.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm guessing there are reports out there that show that having these spaces so close actually do have some sort of negative effect. I'm just thinking that if they do exist, we should probably research them and include them in the language as to why we're including the 500-foot spacing and the 1,500-foot as well from schools. It should be beefed up to include verifiable studies that show assessed values go down or something.
Mr. Chair, you know, I
You done?
I am, thank you.
I agree with you. You know, what really occurred, like when we had the same thing with the gun shop, you know, right across from Roosevelt, you know. I mean, we don't have really no control at all as a municipalities. None of the municipality that has any control over. Why? Because the lobbyists, the the rules apply to them for the gun shop to be there. I mean, it doesn't mean that anything has been happened at location, but the question is, we can stop them.
I'll
Go ahead.
slow down. However, the burden of proof is on the city to prove that it actually has a negative effect. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
I understand that. That's,
So we would need to prove that a gun shop located next to a school causes more school death, or something
Yeah,
like
which-
that.
which has
And,
been
and that's a
pretty
different
clear
topic, which we
through.
talk about. But what I'm saying here is that, you know, I'm not opposed to the idea of the distances, but we need some. The burden of proof is on us to show that assessed values go down, crime goes up, one or both.
Didn't we do the same thing for tattoo parlors?
Tattoo parlors, I don't recall.
Distance? So actually, there's
I
something we
think,
didn't.
I
we
think,
didn't.
I think it was discussed, but not.
Yeah,
moved
I don't
forward.
think we ever
There's
did
no
any
footage.
Okay,
There
but-
currently is
but-
not. It was, I think it was discussed, but.
But
not
we,
moved forward with.
Okay, now, we come up to the problem that someone's selling it now, but we want everyone that's selling to have a license. Well, but now they're gonna be located in areas they can't be, so basically, we're telling these people they basically can't sell it anymore. They can't even buy a license to sell it.
But the ones that are grandfathered, from what I understand, the
Well,
discussion.
Well, that's the question.
You gotta get a license, so how can it be grandfathered?
I've checked with Merton, or ACA Merton, she's the one who drafted this. I don't see a clause in there regarding that. There might be some longstanding clause somewhere in the ordinances that would affect this, but I don't see one in this.
What we're, if we pass this ordinance as it is right now, everybody would have to go out and get a license to sell.
Yes.
And if you're, the guy next to you applies for the license before you do and you're too close to him, you may not, well, the cigarette store A gets it and cigarette store B doesn't get it because he's just late at the draw. Even though if they've both been selling them all along.
Right.
So currently, there aren't that many close to each.
I don't know how many places sell it. I have a question. Does
There's
Pick and
six.
Save sell this stuff?
6 vape shops and 3 smoke shops and many, many gasoline
Yeah,
stations.
yeah. And does Pick and Save sell this kind of stuff? Does anybody know? Does anybody know?
No, I don't
No one
know.
knows.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
I don't go down that aisle.
Moving pros.
I fear the unlicensing and unregulation of this, and I hate the word regulation incidentally, FYI, but the idea, and we're gonna see this next week, we have within 4 blocks, 6 unregulated, unlicensed businesses selling drug paraphernalia in our bid district. So this is something we have to get in front of. This is part of this. It's part of the bigger picture. And I realize it's not on the agenda. I promise I'm not, Scott would be having hives right now. I promise I'm not going there. I just want you guys to understand that I'm very nervous about you guys undoing something now that we can't fix next week with something bigger that we're trying to get to. There's a bigger picture here, and I just want you guys to see the whole picture. And I don't know if you all have yet. That worries me because we're coming next
Okay,
week
now we're talking
with-
about this ordinance.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't talk about what's coming on Monday or on Tuesday, excuse me. I'm just letting you know that there's something else. I
Okay.
can't talk about it because Scott will freak out.
Right, it's not an.
No, I get it, and I'm not gonna put you in that position.
Nick will
I just-
yell at you too.
I know, I just worry about what's happening here. It's like we're
So-
doing things backwards. We
Well,
should have done the other one
but,
first.
truthfully, I don't even have a problem having people having license.
Right.
But we have to get the grandfather clause, we have to figure out how that's going to work.
Alderman Chapletsky's right.
You know, he's just,
Interrupted you there. But I figured you'd
I
be
got that
okay
on,
with that.
I got that on tape, I'm gonna play it.
Should have played a story on himself.
But, you know, it's because we're gonna be taking people that are selling it now, and how do you determine, all of a sudden 3 people are running, the fastest person gets a license, you know, and you can't do that, so,
Mr. Chair.
I'm not certain, you know, what if one's right across from the school, right now?
Right next to a school. There's
And-
currently no regulations. Anybody can
No.
go in a store and
But what
buy
I'm saying
them.
is that, right, so I'm saying is that, okay, now you got a license then.
Right.
Okay, so now, the person can get a license, well, I can't get a license on the cost from the school, so now you're telling the person can't sell them at all.
We're putting someone out of business.
We could be.
Potentially, a portion of
One-
it, depending what you're doing.
One product.
Well,
that they sell
Right,
out of.
it could, I just,
I guess
it's the
there's
principle,
one
it's the
way to
principle of the
affect
whole
them.
thing. So if the person is grandfathered in, we gotta figure, is it grandfathered in that if he sells his business that goes with that business, or is it only the license in that person's name, or something like that?
Currently, we have bars that it doesn't pass on to the next owner, am I correct?
They do, it all passes on.
Yeah.
Well, with a price.
When you buy if someone buys the corporation, the bar, yes. Obviously, we gotta okay it, but we need a reason to say no.
Oh, so you want to put in a grandfather clause?
Well, we had talked about the grandfather clause last time, about, how are you gonna say to these people, okay, forget it.
Right.
So,
We want to improve our image. We saw this article in the Journal. That didn't improve our image at all. Unbeknownst, apparently, to these owners, they didn't know that the oil that they had contained THC. What else don't we know about these things that are in these oils, these juices?
it could be anything, though.
If
It
I'm
could
gonna
be-
Right,
buy, I wanna
and
know
you're
I'm getting
saying,
right.
I just am a little frustrated with the
Got
committee.
that on tape, too.
And I don't want it to be against my
Right. Okay.
will.
All in May.
I don't think the problem here is the licensing, is the problem is the burden of proof that it is dangerous or somehow bad to have these materials within a set distance of each other and other licenses. A business owner, I would imagine, and maybe you can help answer, Nick, that a business owner could say, you've passed a law, you haven't given me a reason as to why this causes some sort of negative effect, you're just doing this to put me out of a portion of my business. I'm suing you, city, for damages for this portion of my business. Is that,
I would agree, and that's why there's the whole findings that are generally put with these ordinances or whatever we're trying to pass. And so, I wasn't involved in part of the meetings, but Attorney Merton had drafted these. So what my role at this point would be is to pass on these discussions and what's going on. So I'm hearing essentially that the burden, we need to establish why the location is the issue, and proximity to the other locations. So in terms of the findings, we have the youth or high school students, middle school students. There's information regarding those findings initially, but there needs to be more regarding crime or property values. That's one of the things that I'm going to pass on. And then the grandfather clause issue, which I don't know if it's been addressed yet prior to this point, but I don't see anything in this which discusses that.
because, Mr. Chair, and again, I think I still had the floor anyway, it was answering a question. I don't think anyone here has a problem with the licensing aspect of it. I don't have a problem with the licensing aspect. It's really the distance and what proof and how we deal with the current individuals.
The grandfathering, you mean?
Right.
Yeah, Mr.
And
Chair.
I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and if I may, I want to avoid an absurd result where it's okay for a business to sell cigarettes, tobacco cigarettes, but illegal for them to sell e-cigarettes. That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, do we,
You're right.
Mr. Chair,
Totally.
All in Wagon.
do we have these restrictions, what restrictions do we have on licensed tobacco retailers? Do they have the distance from a park?
I don't think so.
That's
I
all up
think-
to the states.
Do they have a proximity?
No, because you brought up the good point with
Yep.
the gas
And I'm gonna
station
pass on
selling
the
cigarettes
Yeah.
near a park or school.
Yeah.
I'm sure that happens a lot of places.
Well,
I mean, if we're kind of running this as a parallel to the smoking issue, why don't we just run it 100% parallel to the smoking issue? The way we license tobacco retailers.
We do.
Maybe we just extend the tobacco retail license to include e-cigarettes. So it's not a new license. It's just that if you're a tobacco retailer, you can be an e-cig.
I agree with you, Mario.
I think that might be simpler from
I think it's simpler,
a
right.
housekeeping point of view.
Yeah, but what if you don't sell cigarettes?
Well, then you can still get the tobacco license and still just sell e-cigarettes, and it falls under all the same kind of.
Call it a tobacco and e-cigarette
Yeah.
license.
Yeah, just call it a lung cancer license.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Right.
That seems like it might be easier. I guess I don't know.
But we still run into the grandfather part of it. I don't
Yeah,
know
we still have the
how it
grandfather, because we don't restrict the number of tobacco retailers, I don't think, in the city. And we don't restrict and I don't think we have any proximity locations on them, do we? Ann's shaking her head no. They can open up next to now, I don't know if we could even, if we wanted to attempt to change that, I don't know if we can. Is that set by state? Does anyone know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I thought it was state.
Another thing to check it.
Get
I
your
know
list
that
there.
state law establishes a 1,000-foot drug-free zone around a school
For cigarettes,
for
tobacco retail.
what is considered, it is considered a drug-free school zone.
Well,
Whether
that's
or
about
not-
enforcement of
But I'm-
illegal drug laws, I believe.
Correct, but
Yeah.
I'm also talking, I don't know whether or not that applies to the sellers
And I don't think that applies to tobacco retailers.
at all. I have no idea whether or not cigarettes are classified as a drug.
You can smoke on the
Like
sidewalk at the
alcohol
school.
is, I don't know.
Pharmacy across from
No,
the
you
school?
can smoke on the sidewalk at the school.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you can smoke cigarettes on the
Yes, you
sidewalk
can,
at the school.
but not on school property.
Yeah, so the
Although
1,000-foot
parents
rule
still do
doesn't
that in their cars.
touch tobacco. But it might be cleaner, easier, just to you know, you want to sell e-cigarettes.
Right.
You need the same license that we give to tobacco retailers.
So if someone gets a e-cigarette license, can that mean they can sell cigarettes too?
Sure. Does anybody?
Because you would have jumped through the same hoops.
If they go together.
The standard is the same, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Or create
Well, there's
different
not much of a
classes.
hoop, trust me.
Class 1, class 2.
You fill out an application
Maybe
and.
there should be.
And they would be very simplified, really.
Well, we're not creating a whole new layer for
No,
our clerk's office to
you're
deal
right,
with.
you're right.
You know, yeah, you know. I mean, it just came to me, so.
Good idea.
And if we want to restrict proximity to schools and all that, if, I guess that's another question for the assistant city attorney, is does the state regulate tobacco licensing locations and all that other stuff too? You know, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing if we push the tobacco retailers further away from schools and parks.
Mickey, however you may.
Yeah, he's looking, I'm done.
I know I keep talking with more ideas here, but it would seem to me that zoning would be a better way of handling this distance requirement. Because if it's not based on the license being issued and based on the location itself, you would automatically be grandfathered. And once your business left after a year, then you would be out of that area. Isn't that how the zoning works? So it'd be better to do it through zoning rather than licensing the distance requirements. I would prefer.
Just to me, it's okay. Like the distance from a school, you're saying?
Right. If you're there already, you're grandfathered. But, you know, like Pleasant Valley Inn, it was a restaurant located in a zoning, it wasn't allowed. It was grandfathered, empty for a year. Sorry, can't have a restaurant there again. It's much cleaner than doing it through licenses.
Yeah, that's probably true too. More questions than answers.
That's what I hear.
Could I ask or suggest that this be held
Well, I
until
would-
after
yeah.
Tuesday?
Looks like it
Going
will
to be,
be.
there's too many questions here.
Guessing that's
Nick's
what
gonna
you're
find
doing.
out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He's got 2 pages of things he's got to do.
Mr.
Chair? 3.
All in way.
I'm just curious if anyone knows, we seem to believe that there's gonna be some sort of state regulation on e-cigarettes coming, right? Are they looking at the same thing on licensing retailers and all that? Is it all the same, are they having the same conversations? Does anyone know?
I don't know. On the state licensing retailers?
Yeah.
I'm unaware of that conversation. I believe the FDA ruling in May might lead to the possibility of that, but I haven't heard any conversations or seen any articles on that.
I'm gonna go off the chart here, are you a millennial? No.
I think I'm too old to be a millennial. but-
It's the nearest thing to a millennial at the table, maybe the city attorney. You know, where- I mean,
1980
I-
1980 to-
I'm just curious on the culture,
Present, yeah.
on the, are we?
Were you born before or after?
Okay, we talk about having, we have big development coming, and we're trying to bring in millennials to
After,
come
you're
and see it.
millennial.
Are they gonna see, oh, West Dallas is anti-vaping? Is that gonna be a,
I personally have not seen that being an issue with people, that they would be offended. They couldn't vape somewhere, like
Yeah.
they could go outside or do something else, but that could be a reflection of who I hang out with
Yes.
as well. So I can't
Yeah. I'm
speak
not
for
asking you to
generation
speak-
or anything
yeah,
like that. Yeah, but
I hang out with nice people.
I'll ask my millennial kids.
Okay, so we're gonna be holding this.
Speak for
We're
a
gonna find out
generation.
more information for us on how to handle this whole grandfathering thing.
Grandfather
And the-
proximity findings of,
Yeah.
if we can limit.
And, you know, can we put it through zoning and,
There's nothing wrong with saying you have that.
Is there a way for us to
Just get
find
together.
out exactly who's selling this stuff right now in our city?
except for
Do we-
going,
I have pictures.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
Could you ask the question again?
Do we
Tell me
know,
how to say.
does
Somebody
Pick
went
and
around?
Save sell this stuff? Does,
That's-
We don't know.
Rapinas sell it? Does,
Right, I would say without doing an
Where they
actual
all are
physical
and where they
inspection,
might
we
be
don't
with
know.
buffers.
Research for different ordinance, we relied heavily on, searching the internet to find out who is selling them where. But because they're not regulated, it's not easy to find out.
do we, are people selling it in bars? I mean, if I go to 9 bars tonight,
With his millennial friends.
am I gonna find 1 or 2 or 8 or 9 that sell it in the bar? I guess I don't know. It's not something I've been looking for. Does anybody have any idea how
I
many?
don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I can say from a zoning aspect, we treat it as general retail, so
Yeah.
there'd be no stipulation that they couldn't sell it in terms of that aspect, so it's possible they could be, I don't know that they are or not.
Mr. Chair, can we provide further direction to Nick on this? Why don't we take the distance out of here? I think we're gonna see something.
Proximity to each
the
other.
the proximity to each
To each
other
other.
and proximity from schools. I think Kathy's already, I'm just gonna say it, and if I get in trouble, I don't think there's anything wrong with just knowing she's working on an ordinance to deal with the spacing issue. It's cleaner to be done through zoning anyway, it shouldn't be done through a license. I think when this comes back, let's take all the spacing requirement stuff out, and we'll take up the spacing as a separate zoning ordinance. I think that makes it
Spacing
much
and
cleaner.
proximity, just to be clear, I wanna make sure I'm asking
Same
you that
thing,
time, but right,
yeah.
Well,
that's-
Spacing from a school, proximity to others, yeah. Right, does that, everyone agree on that?
Well, pretty much 13 A and B.
Right.
Location.
Yeah.
Exactly. Heck, maybe just make a motion to take it out and pass the rest. If that's the whole issue, is the spacing.
No, there's still the grandfathering issue.
What else is there?
Settle that.
Who's already in business,
Grandfather.
finding out how many.
But there is no
are.
grandfathering issue, it would be solved through zoning. That'd be another ordinance being brought up by Alderperson Probst.
So, I'm a small business owner, and tomorrow I call an e-cigarette wholesaler and say, send me in your starter pack, I wanna start selling e-cigarettes tomorrow.
Mhm.
And if every small business in the city of West Dallas does that tomorrow,
Mhm.
they'll all be quote grandfathered. They could all be,
Yes.
we could have 10,000, okay, 6,000.
We can pick a date in the past, when we're introducing a grandfather ordinance, we can pick a date in the past that you have to have.
Proof that you were selling them
proof
on that
you-
date?
Yeah,
We can?
we sure can, yeah.
A lawyer just said
As
that.
of January 1, 2016.
I don't trust lawyers. Except
I
Kevin and
trust
Nick.
that
Yeah,
lawyer.
Nick's looking at Nick. Yeah, we can do
I'd
that.
look into that.
That one works for us, and that one's on our
Yeah,
team.
I prosecute.
So, okay.
And I'm
Okay,
not
let's
making, I'm not making that motion.
Yeah, let's
but
just
I'm
find out that
saying.
information, and you can bring it up, Tuesday. Can you find something out by next week, Tuesday?
I'm gonna talk to Jenna about, since she was the primary person who drafted
Right.
this, I'm gonna talk to her about the feedback that we got and either work with her or see what she has. So, yeah.
Okay.
But this is a short council week deadline too, correct?
Tomorrow's deadline.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So what's gonna happen?
Well, you could put something on the agenda.
Well, we can put the ordinance on the agenda, but
Yeah.
she can still work
and
on
if-
it.
and if
That's all
they-
we need to do.
And you can approve it as amended, as it's sitting in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my amendment.
Leslie,
Thank you.
what, is that all you have to say? That's not usually, do you want to talk about a parade or anything?
You just called me Alderman Rote?
Did I?
Yeah.
Gross. There you go.
I'm moving on up in the world.
I know. Right.
It's like I'm in the 4th district now. Now
How
I
do you
forgot
figure
what I was
that's
gonna
up?
say. To the west side.
Larger number.
Oh, shoot.
Larger
We
number.
just messed around so much I forgot.
It's
Oh,
more
no. Can we do this before the council meeting? Because otherwise, wait, this doesn't go to their committee, does it? This goes as a public hearing?
Safety and development.
Public hearing and
It
stuff.
comes to safety and development, it won't come to license and health, never mind. I just didn't want this
They
to
can
be
do this
introduced when
without
I
us.
was somewhere else. Never mind.
And we have
Okay.
ANF at 6 p.m. before on Tuesday anyway, so.
Right.
We do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good, it's
Okay.
separate, yeah.
Anybody have anything else? Wait, hang on a second. Cynthia? We wanna make sure, and Joseph Brown, you're not here yet? Okay, we're holding those. Okay, is there any other matters coming before the committee?
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Any further discussion?
Thank you
All in
for
favor?
I,
Aye. Thanks, everybody.